Hello. Ew. Something on my desk. That's nasty. Okay. Hello, everyone. Yes. So there's a lot. I think there's a lot that we could do tonight. Well, here's the thing. I'd like to recap the Genesis. I should have done that first. I should have done that before I installed the MegaSwitch. Hey, Belmont. Hey, Bartleby. So, hey, Obi-Wan. So, tonight, maybe a month ago or so, I installed, actually, it was probably longer than that. I installed the MegaSwitch HD, which is an internal HDMI mod for the Sega Genesis, Model 1 Sega Genesis specifically. I did not recap the Genesis that I used. I have the caps. You can see them there. You can also see this. Finally got a microscope. I don't have the camera yet, so I'm not really going to talk about it that much. I don't even think I really need to use it. I don't really need to use it to do this mod, but I have been messing around with it. So I'll do a whole live stream. I would like to build. I have a PicoGus version 2, which has a lot of 04, 02 surface mount components on it, which a couple of them here and there by eye is fine. For me is fine, I guess. Not a great experience, but there's like at least a dozen on that board. So the scope is going to help a lot. So I'm waiting for a camera because that's kind of the whole point of me getting it. I mean, I guess it helps. I know this isn't the scope stream, but it helps a lot already. So shout out to anybody who was telling me to get one earlier. All right, so let's go to the bench. Let's take apart the Genesis again, and we'll decide whether or not I should recap it first, which is kind of a pain in the butt, or just get right into the ADC install. Alrighty. Okay. So let us do some things and stuff. So I already tested it again. Not like it wasn't working before, but I also put the. I'm trying to put the triad labels on there to tell me what adapters that I need for the triad. So the Genesis Model 1 uses the red to red triad adapter. That's pretty handy. So let us do the needful. Hello. Okay, the screw is not responding. Oh gosh, really? So I'll kind of tell you why it's a pain in the butt, and I should have recapped this Genesis before I did this MegaSwitch. Although I'll tell you that. Oh, sorry, I got something stuck in my throat. I will tell you that through the RetroTank 4K, the MegaSwitch HD looks about as good as I've ever seen a Genesis look. Come on, stupid screws. Oh, there's no screw in that one. Okay, well, may have lost screws. Really? Okay, I need to take my sweatshirt off. Hello, Mectrix. So yeah, I don't have my microphone on my shirt. Hold on. Okay. I really wish that the camera that I ordered came. Well, I ordered it from AliExpress, so it does take longer, like 10-ish days. So I ordered it before the end of the year, so it's still not here yet. Yeah, I guess I really wasn't sure what to expect from the microscope, but yeah, I've already been using it to check out that corroded 286 motherboard that I have, just to look at the traces and things. One thing that kind of sucks with this Genesis is I damaged the or the legs came off of the original LED. What is going on with this corner? This is being a very disagreeable Genesis. Come on, come off. Are you too good for your home? Okay. All right. So yeah, there is nothing damaged about the case or anything. I just broke the legs off of the LED. And so with this model of Genesis Type 1, or Genesis Model 1, I mean, it's pretty easy to snip some plastic. There's like little plastic bits. There's like plastic welds that take this ring off, and then you could easily change the LED, but I just don't have one on hand. So yeah, can't wait to get my scope. Next purchase, yeah, I don't know if you don't need necessarily like a camera feature, like if you're not going to stream it, then there's probably a lot more options. Although I will say that it is helpful that, well, I hope I should be able to do this. I bought this particular microscope so that I could both look through the binocular part and send out the video at the same time to the stream, like, you know, to the stream. So I hope that works out, unless hopefully I don't need anything else, I guess. I have another, come on, this is really bothering me. Here we go. So yeah, so I watched Adrian's Digital Basement. He has somebody sent him a microscope that just has a screen. It doesn't even have the binocular part, but also it has HDMI output also. So it has a little built-in screen, like 10-inch screen or something, but it also has an HDMI output, but it only does one or the other. So you can only either look at the screen or I don't know. The Genesis is so confusing. There's a lot of different screws in different places. So I just unscrew everything. I don't know. I know that some of these you don't need to unscrew, but anyway, so that's frustrating. I didn't want a scope like that, because otherwise, you know, I don't really see a use for it, for me anyways. And it seemed expensive, the one he was using, so. Love the Genesis, don't care for the way they mounted the power LED. Yeah, right? Because if you don't know that it's there, as soon as you take off the lid, you could rip the LED right away. So unless you know what you're looking for, you won't see it, and you'll do some damage. Oh gosh. Okay, this should be the last screw for this shielding. Shielding, we'll see you later. Okay, now we need to take the heatsink off. Now heatsinks are kind of different. I have two different Genesis Model 1s. Actually, I have two. The other one I have, the heatsinks were riveted onto the board, not screwed. So you had to drill out a rivet in order to take the heat shield off, or heat sink off the regulators down here. But this one doesn't have that problem. Just take off all the things, especially because the MegaSwitch HD board, or the top board, lives over here, so we want to expose that. Actually, we want to take the whole thing out, but this is definitely in the way, the heatsink. Endin Star 8407 is the one I have. Oh, the microscope that you have? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I did a little bit of research. No, Louis Rossmann. This is a Amscope is the brand, and it's an SM model or SM line or something. They have a bunch of different models, like of the same. So like it goes kind of like by the head, and then the base, they're like separate, and so you can get different versions of them, if you know what I mean. Okay, I think this should be everything to get it out of this case. Maybe? Oh, you know what? Maybe we need to unscrew these two. Okay, so these are the special screws. Well, I think I'm gonna do with, what is that? Crusty stuff. Oh, maybe the screw. Okay, now we should be able to take the whole thing out. Or did I miss a screw? Oh, there's another screw underneath the board over here. Like, come on. It's one of these long boys. Okay, that should be everything. Maybe? I'm just looking underneath. I don't know. What the heck? Oh, the slot. I always do that. The slot. The two slot screws. Derp. Wow. That got me. Alrighty. Now we should be able to take everything out. Wow, okay. All right, good. All right. Now, these are all the original caps down here. There are a couple I'm just trying to show it. Basically, there is this B board, or is it called board A? A board A underneath here, and this actually blocks a few of the caps here. So if I wanted to do a full recap, I would have to take off this A board, and it's sort of it's kind of soldered on top of the backside of the CPU. So I would have to not desolder the CPU, but I don't know, probably use a bunch of solder braid. So I don't know. I guess I'll leave it up. I also wanted to say thanks for your sub-carrier pin video. Definitely helped me with jail bars on Model 1. Still slightly visible. Yeah, I think that was my kind of takeaway from that too. It helped a little bit, but it wasn't exactly perfect. Yeah. But I feel like at that point you really could get away with using a better, like RetroTink profile or something to just get rid of the, like a low pass filter or something. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think I should actually recap this first? Or should we just continue with the... I kind of hesitate. Okay, well, I feel like I need to take this board off first anyways. So I've done a little bit of research. There's a guide on the website, the MegaSwitch.cf website. If we'll see a switch to USB-C HDMI video. It's possible. Well, maybe possible. I'm not sure. I know that, well, yeah. none of these, well, at least this board, this particular mod, I know for sure is not a sanctioned HDMI device. So I'm not sure. It all really depends on the transmitters and things, I think, whether or not they allow you to do that. Like the, yeah, license companies and things. Okay, so we need to at least flip this board kind of over because we need to be able to solder. So, okay, let me take a step back here. Hold on a second. So this little guy is the ADC part. So this is what I got in the mail recently. It has some pin headers, like 6 pins here, and it gets soldered in place at the bottom here. So I need to at least flip this over if I'm going to just go straight. You know, I guess I might as well just do this first, and then I can always come back to recapping it later. Although that kind of adds a lot of BS, you know, because there's even more wires. This mod already has a lot of wires. So, but that's all right. We'll just do it. We'll just do the audio part. So I want to fire this up. Get my iron ready. I guess I'm going to desolder this. And I kind of want to, let me see if I have a marker, excuse me, a Sharpie. Okay, good. Okay, so the red, these are power wires. These go around this capacitor here. There's a positive side of this capacitor here. I'm just going to mark the negative side black here, so I don't have to think about it later. I could just solder it. Right? Does that make sense? So I put an X. X marks the spot on the board on the side that is negative. So now I can desolder these wires, get them out of the way. Can you just recap the video circuit? Well, I'm not exactly sure where the video circuit is over here. I'm not the best at like reading schematics really. So let's take these power wires off. Okay. USB-C DVI is also a thing. It's the same signal. Interesting. Okay, so now that's that. Well, there's also the clock wiring here. So I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I'm going to put some black on the shielding part of this cable, and then I'll put like a dot on the board where negative is. Well, where the shield connects to. So that way I'll remember. Because I think that was actually my issue when I was installing this, is I reversed these two wires here. Cool. So now I think we should be able to do that. And I don't really think we need to remove any of these. Oops, I know you guys you can't really see. I have so much. Okay. I don't think we need to remove anything else. All right, now let's go. You know what? I'm going to bring it up on the computer here. We'll just kind of go over, not this. We'll kind of go over what we're doing. Big picture. So up here, under my head. Wait a minute. We have the technology. Yes. There we go. Under my head here, under installation tutorials, and then audio ADC. So this is pretty simplistic instructions, not not in a negative way, just it's not that difficult to add this thing. So we will need to solder it here, but I think we need to solder. Basically what we're doing is we're taking the left and right audio from the headphone jack in the front. So in the very front here is the headphone jack. It exposes the ground, left and right audio. And it looks like how Stanislav is bringing it over is through two shielded like composite video cables. So I have some old junk composite, well, not even composite, it's just the left and right audio cables that I can butcher, I guess. I mean, it doesn't really matter what is what. I think that's kind of, he's got fancy wire where one is one color and one is the other. But I'm not sure that mine are going to be like that. But so we're going to strip some shielded cable. We're going to like wrap the ground wires together, solder the grounds together to the ground thing here, and then left and right here. And then it goes to ground, left and right on the bottom of, oh, okay, that's nice. And so it's on the bottom when you flip the unit over. So we're soldering it to the bottom. We're soldering the whole unit to the bottom, and then the pads, I believe, for left and right audio are on the bottom of that. So in theory, you can solder the board first, then, so like first we can solder the board to the HD board, the ADC board, I mean. Then we can, it does kind of look like it's not, right? Doesn't it look? Oh yeah, look at that. Or maybe what Stanislav is doing is he's just soldering the grounds on the top and then running the wires up through the bottom of the board. So it may still be possible to do it without desolder, like, you know, so I don't know. Maybe we'll just do it and then we can always cut the other end. And then that's it. Then you just pop it on there, and then you have to run this 3-volt signal wire from the mod board to this hole on the ADC board. All right. I'll have to get a wire for that. Okay. Cool. Let's go back to the bench. Alrighty. All right, so I guess that means we can just do the soldering of this thing. What's the positioning of this? So it looks, oh, is it this way? It doesn't get soldered on this side, does it? Oh, it does. Okay, so it gets soldered underneath. Okay, that makes sense. I think I actually even mentioned that. So it gets soldered underneath, so we're going to have to do the soldering on the top here. And I don't know if that means that we're going to have to cut those way short or what. But then I was saying, you know, then I think Stanislav was like fishing the wires up through the bottom of it. And then, but maybe we'll just we'll solder the wires first and like get this side out of the way, and then we'll do the opposite ends. So, all right, so what I was saying, I have these composite video cables. These are just left and right audio. They're not super high quality. I just had them, you know, the ends are not super high quality. So I have, I don't think they're very high quality shielded, but they should still be shielded cable. So let's do an experiment. I got to get all my tools. This. And then we get this. Okay. Actually, then I need a wire. This. What gauge is this? 26 gauge. I don't know. That's probably good enough for power, for 3 volts to go 5 inches, 4 inches. All right, so let's see what's inside of these cables. I don't think the inside, the wire inside is the color of the channel, but we're gonna find out. Oh my gosh, it is. Didn't even think of that. I didn't even know that. So it's kind of the same color. So this is kind of reddish. Got some powdery stuff on it. So this is actually probably not enough length. So let's give me a little bit more length. Okay. All right, so that will be, I don't know, which one does Stanislav use? I never know what the colors are. Which color goes where? Okay, so the red is right. That makes sense. So we still need to separate these. And just twist them a little, twist them a little bit. Not yet, like we're not gonna go all the way yet until we get the other one. So let's do that actually. So let's cut the other end, or not the other end, the other color. Yep, this one's white. Wow, today I learned. Okay, so now it looks like Stanislav kind of... Hey, glad you're back. Wife came home from work, was asking about her day. Well, look at you. Yeah, let's see. How does Stanislav do this? Okay, so see, kind of... Okay, so actually I have the benefit of being able to take this out. Actually, wait a minute. This is going to be underneath everything? Okay. So you probably want to give yourself a lot of length, like just get a cheap composite audio cable or whatever, or just, harvest one from some old cable you've got, and then leave the big length part first. So I'm going to do the part that's going to be underneath the mod first. I don't know if that's the best way to go about it. And actually, now that I'm thinking about that, so this is going to be down like this, and then the one closest, oh, whoops. Okay, so it's going to be down on the mod like this. And where's my thing? Hello, thing. Oh, gosh. I just had tweezers, didn't I? Oh, they're under my stuff. Okay. Yeah, so the bottom via here is right, and the top one is left, and that's ground. So I probably should think ahead and make it so that the red one is closer to the right side. So like this, when they're underneath. So like that. All right, now I'm going to twist the shield parts together. I hope that will keep those more or less together. Now I want to solder the left and right. So let's... Okay, just like that. Then I've got to have these guys come in. So I think what I want to do is I want to just try to cut these kind of at the same length. The left and the right, Hopefully that this is clear. Okay. I don't know if this is like too much length or not. Okay, now let's tin everything. Okay, so tin the ground. And then we'll tin the signals. Okay. Then wait a minute. Okay, yeah, I was right. Excuse me, it's also labeled underneath here. So let's get the left and the right in at the same time, because they are actually, can I do a game remove and do all three of them at the same time? Okay, that's left and right. There's no way that ground is going to fit in here now, because I tinned it. Maybe if I cut it a little bit. Okay. Oh no, it's too big. Well, now I think I see why Stanislav just kind of soldered it on top. Left is white, right is red. You can always know by remembering the first letter of the right channel is the same as the color. Yep. Therapeutic soldering while on night shift. Nice. Well, I don't know. Now I don't really know. I kind of ruined my original idea. Maybe I'll do what Stanislav did and solder the ground on the bottom. Maybe my heat is not for this ground shield. My iron is not hot enough. Okay. I know that might have been a little tough to see, but I got the ground wire soldered first. I know it's not great, but okay. Now I can do this. Okay, left. Okay. Okay. Now I can actually solder that on the bottom, both of them. Oops, sorry, it's kind of out of the frame here. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. I think that should be fine. And then we could just cut the rest of the wire short. Okay. Cool. So that's the left and right wires. These are still kind of, you know, not, uh-oh. Oh, I was like, how am I going to tell what the other ends are? But thankfully I left the other two connectors. So now this whole thing, now I'm going to try to look at the picture. It looks like it's as flush. Yeah, it looks like it's sitting as flush as it can. So there's the USB-C programming port here. And it goes just right on top of it. But you know what? It's kind of interesting because there's this chip here. This, what? I don't know. Whatever this chip is here. And like the ground wire from the audio cable is just kind of exposed. I mean, it probably is fine. Oh, and I think actually, I don't know if you guys can easily see that, but it's kind of centered on top of that chip when it's in there, so it probably won't go anywhere. Okay, so I don't know how flat it's supposed to be. In the first picture, let me go back to the, in this picture here, there's a gap. So it's level with something. I mean, my wires are more bumped up. So I'm just worried that, see, when you reinstall it back how it was before, there has to be enough room for the mod underneath. And there's a little bit of a gap. So I think you want to just push it down as far as possible, I guess. Hopefully that doesn't, my wiring here doesn't bite me in the butt. Because it is kind of thick. That may not be good. Can I fix that? You know what I think I want to do instead? I'm going to do what Stanislav did and solder this shield, the shield wire part on the top side. I hope I don't melt these wires. Okay. Nice. Okay. Now, let's see how long the shielding part is. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have way more than enough. And actually, that might solve the problem of the this part being down more. Okay. So I'm just going to sort of solder it to the top here. But I'm going to cut it to length a little bit more. Where's my liquid flux? And then we can do this. Oops. Huh. I might need more solder. Okay, cool. I think that'll be fine. It's kind of just like a big blob of solder here, which is not terrible, but it's not, you know. Okay, and it seems to be a little more secure. So I think that's the play. Okay. But part of the problem is once you put it in here, I mean, it's not that hard to desolder it, I suppose, but once you put it in here, kind of like, oh, it'd be really difficult to fix it if, not difficult, I guess is not the right word, but yeah. So it doesn't seem like it could fit any differently in the spot. The legs will only go a certain way, if you know what I mean. So like the socket thing is here, or the vias here are like an L, and so is the headers here. So you really don't have to guess about how that's supposed to go. But you will have to guess about how you're gonna do all this with one hand. Okay, so we just need to get some solder on one of the pins first. So what I do is I just take some, like melt it a bit, melt some solder, and then just get it on one of the pins. Not the one that you're holding with your finger. I didn't get enough contact. Okay, that didn't do it. This is kind of hard. There's just a lot of goop on my soldering iron now. Hold on. Okay. Cleaning my tip really well. I'm going to get some, just put a bunch of flux, liquid flux in the holes there. And then I'm going to go back to get some solder and then try to solder one of these so that the solder actually goes in the via. That would be cool. Okay. Okay, good. I got one. Okay. And there's the gap. So basically, it's going to be kind of difficult to tell on the video, but if you press down on the ADC board as flat as it really can go, because it's resting pretty much on top of the USB-C port. I know you can't see this because it's on the opposite side, but that will give you the gap in the picture. See, now I have like a millimeter gap there or so. So that will be that's pretty much level with the USB port. So that's basically as far down as it can go on the board. So now you can solder. I made sure that it was flat when I was checking it, like the board flat on the thing. Then you can kind of solder the rest of the pins. I guess level is what I was trying to say, not flat. Okay, cool. So that, as far as I am concerned, is the this part of it, this side of it. So what I think I would like to do before things kind of get crazier with wire mess is reattach the board just so that it's not flopping around as I'm doing the rest of the mod. If that makes sense. But I know that's kind of, the position of these things is kind of important. So I think we're not supposed to go, there was somewhere where I'm supposed to be. So like these are supposed to be separate, I think. Like the clock signal, oh, sorry. The clock signal wire, it's been such a long time. This has to stay over here. This this thing, versus this can go there. And then that means, I guess, the audio wires, actually, let's just look at the photo. There's not like a finished routing photo. It just kind of runs up the middle. So I think that's fine. And these are shielded. So that should be fine. But I want to put the screws in and get things in their mostly finished spot. Okay, let's put the 2 screws in. Okay. And the other one. Actually, while I'm here, I don't really know how. I don't think that these pins now are in danger. I don't think they are. So this is where that ADC board goes. This is kind of a better visual. Yeah. Oops. That. It won't focus this close. Let me do this. The focus distance is too high, or too, okay. Well, that didn't work. That's not what I was trying to do. Well, you'll have to take my word for it that the board, actually, can I put it in manual mode? Maybe that will work. No, great. I'm trying to focus whatever. All right, you'll have to take my word for it that this is flat now. It's worse than it was before, huh? How did that happen? The ADC board is flat up against the USB, and no part of it, not even, there's a clock chip or clock crystal on the ADC board. That is not touching the board either. So I think that's the move, is basically it's separated from the board. But it's pretty, like, if you try to install it as far in as it goes, that's pretty much it. It's not like it's that difficult. I guess I'm probably confusing you by talking more about it, but okay. Looks like it has to be flush or below the HDMI port, so it will sit flat. Yeah. About screwing it down temporarily so you know it's going to fit before committing. Yeah, so I did this part. So the other part that I would be that could come into play is the top shield. So this goes on top, but this way or the other way? No, it is this way. Like this. So yeah, I believe we will need to. Actually, I don't know. It rests on top of the. I can't really do a good demo because this part of the shield. I know it's. I kind of mangled it pretty well when I was flat straightening it out, but it rests on top of the heatsink, right? So it kind of lifts it up a little bit more. However, I definitely can tell that the shield is in pin territory. So I believe we'll also need to fold up this top shield part, which is not bad. It's just this. Well, we'll do it after, but there's just this one side here that we'll have to cut. So I don't really love. So I don't think we'll have to cut the pins here. Once the shield is bent out of the way, I don't think it's going to collide at all. This is not a no. If you consider bending the shield, it's not a no cut anymore. You might be a little bit disappointed, but I don't see how else you can get this type of setup in a Genesis without cutting it. So excuse my lack of knowledge, but is the MegaSwitch HD a scaler to HDMI, or does it do other things? So it is a I think it does scale. So the difference between this mod is digital, a digital mod, digital to digital mod, meaning that there is no, well, at least for the on the video side of things, there is no. It's not converting an RGB signal to from analog to digital. It's all digital, and this is where some people might consider it not, this is no longer a Genesis anymore, is because it does use an FPGA to do that. There are some exposed pins, exposed video signals. That's the reason that this particular model of Genesis is used, is because this is the only type of Genesis that does expose those pins, or the digital video signal. But it doesn't have, I don't think it has all the raw digital video signal that, like, from the board itself. So the FPGA comes up, somehow emulates some portion of the video signal, and then outputs it in HDMI, or as HDMI. So it's it's not necessarily like converting RGB to digital, which would be one, that's one thing, right? Digital or ADC, analog to digital converter. But I think it also does do some scaling to 1080p or something. But I am hooking it up through the RetroTink 4K also. So it could stand alone, I think, up to 1080p by itself. You'd have to read the website. Let me see if I can read the site quickly. Yeah, you'd have to read the website to see what it can upscale to, because the native Genesis resolution is like 320 or something. So there's no way that, that's not compatible with modern screens. So it upscales to 1080p at least. So hopefully that answered your question. Okay, so that's this. Now the only thing left to do really is the connecting to the headphone jack. So here's our three. Oh God, look at this board. We might have to do some a little bit of cleanup, and I've never actually. Wait, that's not true. I think I may have been in here before. Actually, no, not in this one. That would have been the other one. Now this one, I think I have never been in. I don't know. Before I did the MegaSwitch, I don't think I'd done anything to this, but I don't know. So I'm just going to try to clean up these pins, but that may involve well, okay, I think they're fine. I know this left one is the ground one, and it probably takes some heat. Okay. Okay, so we've got to kind of get a length for these cables. So this sits in the case like how? Okay. Oops, sorry. Got to zoom out. Okay. So this sits in the case like this. The headphone jack part goes there. Or is it upside down? Oh yeah, like that. The headphone jack part goes like that. Flexible vertical scaling from 4x to 5x. Okay, so it does upscale, yep. I mean, I don't necessarily know. Well, I guess there's no reason it wouldn't be as sharp as like the RetroTink 5X or something. I mean, it is digital to digital, and it has an FPGA to output it, so. Oh, and it's buffered. Okay, got it. I'm just trying to think of the routing for this cable. Like that, I guess. So how does the wire come back up? This part is kind of sus. Not sus, but I don't know a great way to get in there. It's probably not super duper important at that point. Like I could probably cut the sheath. Or I kind of want to go in through under here, maybe. I mean, there is a lot of room there. So, all right, so let's do that. So let's flip this over. Let's give myself a lot of extra, because I don't think there's any penalty for making it longer than is needed. So like that, let's go with that. And I know I said, whoa, which wire is which? But I remember that the color of the wire inside is the color of the cable. So, and then we'll have to like, I don't know. Oh, I didn't even think about the shielding. Well, that's a good thing I left a lot extra. Or maybe it's better to go out here or something like this. If this is possible. Like that. That might be the play. Let's see. Oh, that means I need to see what the rest of the shielding looks like. Okay, it's going to get smash-elated if it goes over there. Yeah, if it came out like, well, I guess there's a gap here. What the heck? How did that get there? So if that's that. Oh, okay, there's a big gap here. So it can go out the front gap here, like that. So I gave myself way extra. So I would probably do like that, because it's going to be soldered underneath this part here. Okay, so that should be a lot of length extra. But that's fine. Okay. Cool. So let's get rid of this again. All right, now let's strip maybe an inch. This side should be a little bit easier to solder and things. So just going right to that. I was afraid of that. Okay, well, I effed up. Well, I think it should be fine. I just ripped out a lot of the copper. I didn't want to do that. Well, but I'd be okay if I get rid of some more. Shoot. Well, okay. Sort of my bad, but I think it'll be all right. So that's that. I don't have my other snippers over here. Okay. Kind of did the same thing with the red, but that's right. This side, but. All right, so then, again, actually, you know what? Which side is which? Actually, I want to turn it this way. All right, let's look at the map, the instructions, I mean. Okay, the right is close to ground. So ground is the furthest, and then red is in the middle, and then left. So you can kind of do this. Okay, yep. So let's do this. Let's tin the ground wire. Let's see, does he use a lot of, yeah, he uses a lot of length. Okay. I have to like hold this down. Okay. Okay, then get some, oh, this is gonna be super hard to see what the heck I'm doing. I'm trying to weigh this down. Put some flux on it. Okay. So that is ground. It sort of looks, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get rid of the solder, although I have to make sure that I don't remove the jack. This is actually a jack on the other side, this plug. So I'm going to get rid of some of the solder on that side because I think I'm worried about it bridging. Okay. So now that's right. And that's ground. Okay. That's the ground. Now I just need to solder the right and left. Okay. Oh, not my iron, it's too hot. Okay, now we can get that right guy in there. Okay, that looks good. And then the left. Alrighty, so let me check for continuity. I just don't trust that ground right next to the right. So I want to make sure I didn't bridge it. Okay. Okay. So working. Tangled AF. Oh, so I guess if you don't want to be worried about, you could always solder them to these big blobs, I believe. Wait, don't quote me on that. Oh, it looks like they are. So like this big blob is left, but the left side here is not the one I'm really concerned about. It's the right side. And that big blob, but it's not grounded. Yeah, that's not ground, so I don't know. Just stick with the points in the diagram, I guess, because it's not that hard. It looks kind of like they're touching, they're bridged, but you just gotta trust your solder, trust the soldering. You know, and you can always verify. Okay, I think that's it. Oh wait, no, the 3 volts. Shoot, whoops! I completely forgot about that, didn't I? Well, all right. My bad. All right, so 3 volts is on the top side here. So let's solder a wire to 3 volts. I forgot that we have to power this thing. So that means we're going to take it all apart. But we can do that after. So let's get a wire somewhere around here. Oh. This via here is the 3 volts. So let's get that yellow wire. Where'd my box go? Oh, there it is. Fixed up a Model 1 yesterday, bad voltage regulator. It's nice to have one again since that was the model I had as a kid. Yeah, I was a Super Nintendo lad. So I didn't have a Genesis until I started doing mods. Okay, I don't know how long this thing needs to be. I don't think it needs to be this long, but... Okay, so this is just 26 gauge silicone wire. I really like silicone wire because it doesn't burn. The sheath doesn't melt that easily. So I think it's a little bit more forgiving if you're not super experienced, but I also just like, I don't know, the way it feels is nice. I don't really like, well, I haven't really done anything that uses a ribbon cable, not a flex cable, but a ribbon cable in a while. But you know, where you need to use that, I guess you have to use that, but I don't love that. Ribbon cable just kind of melts pretty easily, so I don't like it. Okay, so let's look at the pictures. I think we have to go like off the side here. So 3 volts is marked on the board here. I guess I don't let me forget to clean that with IPA, the spot we were just at. The headphone jack part. Okay. Three volts. Let's clean the headphone jack while we're here, and I don't want to forget. The board, I mean. Oh, well, yeah. You know what? I'm pretty conflicted about whether or not to keep doing the computer, the vintage computer stuff. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of, I don't know. I like doing it a lot right now. I'm like into it. But you know, well, it's not just that I like doing it. I kind of feel like okay, I think that should be fine. Does that look like it's gonna, that doesn't look like it's gonna do anything, right? I feel like preservation is actually a lot worse when it comes to computer stuff than console stuff, because there's a lot of software that's just gone, or it's not archived, at least. So yeah, I don't know. I know vintage computer stuff is a lot more complicated. There's a lot more things you need to consider. It's a lot more expensive. Well, yeah. And there are just so many. It's as varied as consoles as far as like what kind of games you could play. So, hey Stanislav, yeah, almost. I forgot the 3.3 volt wire, so I got to go back and do that. So I just soldered it to the top of the board here, but now I got to undo everything and try to solder the mod in there. So there are a lot of projects, a lot of open source projects as far as vintage stuff, and I feel like that is a really good thing to get people interested, because I think a lot of people get bummed out because they can't buy, like either it's not available or it just costs a lot of money, so they can't really participate. They can watch people, you know, repair things and do things with their computers, but like they don't have, like the people watching it don't have the computer, you know what I mean? So there's a big kind of disconnect. And I wish it wasn't like that. You know, I wish there was hardware, common hardware that people could use to experience the same thing together, but still be able to be, you know, participate without having to spend a lot of money. So if you saw my Twitter, I was talking about this micro, I think it's micro or mini. Yeah, micro 8088, which is there's this guy, man, I don't even know his name. I should Deku something. He actually, and this project is not new. This project's from like 2017, or like various parts of it are from different, it's old. It's not a new project. But he has open source, like literally an 8088 computer. So it like the computer itself, like the CPU and the chipset and everything, lives on an ISA card, and then also in the same project is ISA, an 8-bit. So it's not 16-bit, but it's, you know, that it's an XT, like an IBM XT class machine. The backplane provides like the power and obviously connectivity with other ISA cards. So essentially you can build, including graphics, including sound card, new. And I say new, it's similar to the OpenTendo, where you need to use real chips, some real chips. So there's this Faraday or something, which is a chipset chip that is kind of expensive right now. I bought it for $30 on Amazon, on AliExpress. But the actual CPUs to go in there are pretty affordable. And really then it's just the BOM cost and getting the boards made, which is still not cheap. And I'm lucky that I have PCBWay as a sponsor when I do those things. But, you know, you're still talking about $300 or $400 to build one yourself if you're not sponsored by PCBWay. But still, I mean, if you don't have an IBM XT or whatever, and like you'd be spending that much money anyways for a good fully set up one. And so this would be a fully set up XT with like a ad-lib quality sound card and a VGA graphics card. So, yeah, just I'm trying to figure out ways to sell it to people, because I feel like a lot of people are like, you know, that's nice, but I don't get a lot of feedback from people as far as like keep doing this or not keep doing it. And honestly, I don't care. I'll do what I want to do, but I'm just saying, like, is my original goal of like trying to make people care about vintage PC stuff, is that worth me continuing to do? That's all. That's what I'm trying to figure out. This is sort of a nightmare. I don't know if you can tell what I'm doing from so far away. I'm trying to, I guess I should do a little bit more actually. I'm trying to sneak this power cable underneath that the ADC so I don't have to remove it. So yeah, I mean, I've even considered, you know, switching back to making YouTube videos about it. I think it's that compelling, where people just kind of need a storyline to it, not like a. It needs to be more structured than these random stream videos. You know, those are only so good for, you know, SEO, people finding the videos. You know, it's not like I can say, oh, you know, here's a vintage computer to get you into vintage computing. It's not really that simple, because people have different preferences and things. But if I can kind of make a video like, oh, here's all you need to know about building owning an IBM XT class kind of computer and gaming or gaming on an IBM XT in 2024. You know, like what you could do with modern mods and things. Follow your passion. PCs take up a lot more space. Yes, yeah. So that's what is interesting about the Micro 8088, because that form factor is smaller. It's like, I don't know. Just look at the photo on my Twitter. It's like, it's pretty small. I mean, it's probably the size of like an Xbox Series X, maybe something like that. I know. I I already feel my house. Like, I love these computers so much, and I'm never getting rid of them. But like, my house, man, my house just is gone. I don't have any more space now. Okay, so I think I solved the dilemma, the 3-volt dilemma. Now it's just a matter of getting everything back together. So I think this goes in here, if I'm not mistaken. This part goes in here. This part goes out of here. And these audio lines, I don't think it really matters which way they are. Maybe we'll do like this. Okay, like that. I don't know. What is it on? But yeah, that's a good point. The space, I didn't really think about it. But I mean, I don't know. I'm the type of person that I'll binge watch Adrian's Digital Basement all day, like just fixing random computers. Like, I don't know. Don't really know why, but it's just interesting to me. And plus, I'm learning about computers, like oh, I forgot to turn my multimeter off. I'm learning a lot about, you know, where does, like, later on I learned I had a computer with like cache and stuff, and like I never knew where that came from. Like, why isn't it all just RAM? I know obviously the cache is faster, but like I guess I didn't know kind of why it was there. So, well, I don't really know exactly why yet either, but I'm kind of like going through the ages of computers right now. So like, I don't have anything older than a IBM AT, a 286 yet. So that's why I think the Micro 8088 would be good, because that's like an 8086 kind of class computer. But I don't really think there's that big of a difference between that and a 286. It's not until you get into like 386 and 486 where you really can run the faster games, so like Doom and things. But you know, it's cool to see like, oh, this is the type of computer that you would have to have. Okay, so I think that's fine. You do the same. There are so many good. Yeah, there really are. I think a lot of people who had old PCs will still appreciate it, even if. Well, so here's the thing about my audience. At least my audience is older than me. You know, more people are older than me than are younger than me. So I do feel like there are people that you know. One, I guess, you know, I understand that not live streams are not for everyone. So that's probably a big thing, you know. That's probably why a lot of people are not watching, or not more people are watching, I mean. But I don't know, my audience is in the demographic. Okay, so now I'm going to solder the clock wire and the voltage wires, and then we can test it. But I think a personal goal for me for computer stuff is trying to learn how to troubleshoot things by looking at chips, like actually looking at the board. And like this year, I hope. What the heck? This year, I hope to do that more. And I have an oscilloscope. Yeah, I guess it is an oscilloscope. I have an oscilloscope. I've just never used it before. So there's a lot of things I want to do this year with that stuff. Oh, gosh. Cool. Okay. So that should be that. Now I got to put back these little guys. And I still have other things coming. I got a 386 board in the mail today. I need some sim memory for that. But that's super cool. I kind of wanted a 486 eventually, but that for some reason, like 486 computers pre-built and like AT cases are extremely expensive on eBay. Like $200. Like this is, I don't know. I was looking for AT cases to put builds in, and the like $200 basically is the price. Maybe a little less if you get lucky, but that's just not, I think, not generally affordable, especially when you need to put more money into the rest of it. So I kind of wish that there was, this is annoying me. I kind of wish that there was new AT cases. I know that will never happen, but just makes me happy. Makes me, the idea of that makes me happy. Well, I know there's also, somebody mentioned, and I think I actually had seen this LGR video before. There's the new XT, the NU XT, which is it's sort of similar to the Micro 8088. Actually, it's based on that project. Like, it uses some of that guy's open source plan stuff. But it is basically a IBM XT class, like 286, or actually no, it's a 8088 in an ATX form factor. So it's like a new motherboard, ATX form factor that packs in a lot of the stuff that you need. So like IDE controller, onboard video, but it's like decent video, and the compact flash card sticks out the back, so like where the normally you have your IO shield, like it all comes out there. So I don't know. Getting old sucks. Yeah. Yeah, well, so that it does make me feel good when people are older than me. I'm only 33. So I like to make myself feel bad by saying I'm old, but I also know that I'm not that old compared to the people around me. So at least the people in my hobby interest. So, all right, I think that's it. Now we just have to, I want to at least put the this thing, whatever this thing is, this thing, heatsink, not the heat shrink. And then we can test it. I mean, we don't have to put it back in the case because I think, I need to modify the case actually. Yes, so we'll do that too. But let's test it first. How is that attached? Probably with these. But like I said, I'm learning a lot about computers. I'm learning a lot about. I did play some DOS games when I was younger, but obviously not a lot. And there are a lot. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. But just it's a whole catalog of games that I just never. It just wasn't in my never thought about it. Where does this other one go? Where does this go? Why do I have 3 of these? Huh. Oh, it goes here. Yeah, that's right. Anytime something screws into the heat sink, it goes there. When I was younger, what the heck? When I was younger and people would complain about getting older, I thought they were crazy, but they were not lying. Yeah. Yeah, there's a certain age where you're just like, you can't wait to be an adult. You can't wait to do all the adult things that you can do. And then you're just like, shortly after that, you're like, this sucks. This is overrated. Okay, so I think we can put it back in the bottom shell at least. I don't think I disturbed anything. I'm just gonna I'm off camera. I'm kind of looking at the connections at the bottom. Oof, man. Oh. Uh-oh. So here's a trap that I fell into. The card slot. Uh-oh. How did this happen? See these pinched wires? Oh. That's this, isn't it? That's this plastic piece on the shield in the bottom. And how do these screw bosses are all mangled? Oh, brother. Well, what do I do about that? It almost looks like this wire needs to get routed around. Like this is not a good spot for this wire. Even this green wire is kind of cutting it close. Dang it. All right, well, you know what? I got to fix that. So, all right, let's do that. I don't think I have to do much. Actually, you know what? I probably could just get away with doing that. I didn't even think about that. So be careful when you're putting this together. I don't think they're severed or anything. It was pushing up against the slot. Ew, all the soldering on the... Did I do that? All the soldering on this cartridge slot connector is nasty. Okay, well this is kind of sus. But you just want to get the wires around and away from the middle. It's like they can't go across the middle there. Now, how am I going to do that? How am I going to put it back in the case? Okay, so put the ports in first. So you guys can't see, but you could pretty easily see into the case as you're putting it together. So well, can't really tell. Did that fix it? I think there's plenty of room. It's not necessarily like there's no room. Even if those cables stood up on their ends, I think they'd be fine. Okay. All right, well, I'm glad I caught that now, but that could be a problem for somebody. When I was young, oh, never thought it could happen to me. Sheesh. Okay, well, got to think about that. Okay, let's go through this way. Put this over here. Our power jack. Now we should put our headphone jack. And then once we put our top shield on, this will be able to go through there. Now, before I forget, we're going to power it on, but I want to just... I think all you will have to do is... oops. Don't forget to do the LED thing. I know I didn't put any of the screws back in, but I'm not reinstalling it in the case yet. So it is hitting... Well, no, don't do that. That's stupid. I was gonna say you could put electrical tape; it'd probably be all right, but no, just cut it off. So do the whole bendy thing. So just this front part here. And I think this is how I ended up mangling it last time. I need like a You know what? I'm gonna go get a tool. And you guys can still hear me. Going in the closet. I'm getting some channel locks out of the closet. Okay. Going back upstairs. Not channel locks, whatever these are. Pliers. Okay. Yeah, I kind of made this part look bad before. Oh well, shoot. So all you should have to do is like bend it back and forth on the line. Ugh, let's take some effort. This is why the other part's mangled. I guess if you were smart, or if you were a modder, a professional modder, you would buy some shears or something and do that, or Dremel. Come on. How is this not breaking yet? Ugh. It's like broken in the middle, but not on either end yet. Okay, it's coming now. Okay, that's super sus, but oh gosh, now it's bent up here. Well, don't do what I do. Don't do what I did for that. Okay, now that's sharp AF. Okay, that's gonna be sharp for me. Actually, this whole thing is sharp. I need to take this downstairs and like sand it. So, yep, bend it like that. So that way, now when you put it in here, it's not gonna touch the things at all. Cool. Yep, nowhere near it now. Not touching the pins there. I mean, I guess I don't love how they're flopping around, I guess, but they're reinforced by the heat sink. Although I think some models have smaller heat sinks, so although I don't know if it's this Model 2 or Model 1 or not. Dang, okay. Doing a full, oh, quick question out of curiosity, should I plan to replace the caps on my Model 1? It's an original. I'm assuming they'll all go bad eventually. Yeah, I mean, I would. I would probably do it. I mean, they're not that expensive, so I should have done it before I did mine. But especially if you're gonna do a mod like this, if you just have a normal Genesis, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess I can't really comment. I guess other people do it because they just, while they're there or whatever. But I use, well, it's probably different when it's, I was going to say I use computers that are 30, 35 years old, and I don't do recaps on those unless they're bad, unless they're causing the issue. But again, that's not analog video, so yeah. Okay, so I think that's everything. Let's test this out. Let's take the shield off. Let's put the cart in. Okay. Let's put the power in. And the HDMI. Okay. And I've got my 8-bit DOE M30. Okay. Cool. All right, let's try it. Let's turn the TV on. Switch capture. So it's on HDMI input, so I'm going into the Tink 4K. All right, I'm kind of nervous. I don't know why. Okay, that's a good sign. It's not broken. How do you bring up the menu? Oops. Oh, here we go. All right, let's try this. No sound. That is interesting. Maybe there is some kind of firmware update, maybe? All right, let me check. Oh, the firmware needs to be updated. Okay, I was just thinking that. Okay, great. All right, well, at least it's not dead. So let's go. I'm going to go back to the computer. I'm going to bring the whole thing over. I unplugged it. I'm going to bring it over because there is a USB-C port on the back for flashing the firmware. So let's go to the site. MegaSwitch firmware. Cool. Upload the files, blah, 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 into the same folder. It is recommended to use the latest version of core.bin. Connect the USB-C to the console. holding down the reset button. Reset on the console? This is... Or a reset, is there a reset button on this? I hope it's not underneath the board. I'm gonna have to take the board all apart. Okay, so we need these things here. If you're updating the firmware for the first time, which I will, so I need to download this driver. I think I might have this driver already because I think I've done other STM projects before, but just for ha-has, let's install the latest 64-bit. This looks like W8. Did it say which one? No, it didn't. W8? Is that like version 8? Oh, Windows 8. Is this Windows 8? Okay. Huh? How do you download that? Oh, that was dumb. Reset button on the console. Where is the... Does this have a reset button? Oh, it does. Wait, where is it though? Sorry, I'm not familiar with... Oh, where is it on the... Oh, it's the little... It's the little... There's a little plunger. Got it. I wasn't seeing a hard switch. There is a... Oh, what is happening? Shit's opening in the other screen. All right, I'm just extracting that driver. I hope I don't have to restart my computer. Let's continue without. So there's this gray button here. Above the headphone jack part right here. So that's the reset button. Okay, so that's good. So before I install the driver, let's download, we gotta download the firmware updater and the new firmware. So download those. Okay, did it really download it twice? Really? Okay, so then what do we have? Do we have to put it together in a folder? Okay. Yep, so make a little folder. Like that. And then get core and the updater in the same folder. So that's going to look like that. That's what we have to do. Updater and the core. Yep. Okay. Then now we got to plug it in. So we got to hold reset and oh, do we need to power it on? Oh, connect the USB-C. Okay, so you can connect the USB-C. Thankfully, I have cords lying on the floor, so I had a USB-C cord on the floor. So we could plug the Type-C in first. Oh no, it's not long. Oh, it is. Should be long enough. So this is kind of how you doing, but okay. So plugging in the USB-C to the back of the board. So it's kind of nice that you can update the firmware without having to take the console apart. That's really cool. Now I need the power adapter, the Triad. That's what I use. Let's plug it in. Up there. Okay. So now we before you plug it in, hold down the reset button and then plug it in. Okay. And then power on the console. Okay. I heard a dink. And then we run this exe. do anything? Maybe it's just thinking. It's possible that the driver is what I'm missing. Okay, let's turn off the console. Oops, not the volume on the console. Turn off the console. Let me go back and I'll install the driver. God. Okay. What? Okay, guess I'll have to, okay. Cool. Okay, so that's the driver, I guess. Now, let's try the thing again. Okay, so the USB-C cable is plugged in. The program should have started. Try setting the application to be compatible with Windows 7. Okay, so let's see if it's running right now first. Not Copilot. No one wants you, Copilot. No one asked for you. All right, I'm just trying to see if it's running. Don't see it. Okay, so let's go. We'll see if we can set it to compatibility with Windows 7. Okay. So now, did I turn the console on already? Oh, I did. Okay, so hold the reset button, power on the console. Poor Copilot. All it wanted to do was be helpful, but I summoned it with a random key press. So how's that helpful? Okay, heard the doo-doo. Okay. It showed up for a second and then it just, see you later. So that's why I'm thinking it is running. It just crashed in the background or something. Does anybody know how to search? Oh, duh. I don't know if this is going to be the name of the program, but no. Maybe STM. Let's just Russian roulette these things and start turning them off. It's probably running. I just don't know what the name of the process is. Also, I don't have any Razer products anymore, so see ya. All right, let's just turn it off. What is the exclamation mark? Oh, something is angry at me. No, I don't want it to run anymore. All right, let's try it again. Okay, doo-doo. All right. Second plan. How's I'm gonna do it all on this? I know you guys can't really see it, but it's basically the same thing. But I can restart the computer here. So let's turn this off. Plug the USB-C port into the laptop. Shit. Okay, now we need to go to MegaSwitch.cf. All right, then we go to firmware. Do what you gotta do. Yeah, this thing, for as much as I like this, this is an old Dell XPS 13. I really like this computer, but it's slow, very slow. But this is Windows 10. This is not Windows 11, so this might have better. Maybe we'll have better luck on this machine. But it's a Haswell era. So I need a new laptop. I just can't afford to buy a MacBook, which is what I really want. Well, yeah. I really kind of want a second. Okay, so I'm just doing the same stuff over again. I'm getting the driver. Oh, you know what? I didn't install the Windows 7 driver. Maybe I'll have to install both versions of that driver. Because I did only install the W8 version, which I'm guessing is Windows 8. You want, but you shouldn't want. Yes, that is the story of my life. I want, but I shouldn't want. I would like to have a small computer that I can stream from my basement. Now I don't think I need anything that complicated, and I want to take this AverMedia. Well, that's the other thing too. Is what do? I take everything downstairs? Probably not. I'll probably just. But I want to be able to stream PC stuff. Like I want to have a whole setup because here, well, first thing, for as much as I like my OLED, yeah, it is big. It takes a lot of room, and it's not ideal for that sort of like soldering slash like plus with the scope. Like I want that to live on the desk kind of. So. All right, I'm just downloading everything again. Download the core, download the firmware updater. All right, let's run. Okay, extracting the firmware. Okay, let's delete. Install the I'm going to install the W7, so the VCP 1.5.0 setup W7 64-bit. I did the W8 one. Maybe that was the well, although it came up before, so I don't know. What is the giant microscope for? Just really small soldering jobs? Yeah, so the best part about the giant microscope, as you put it so well, is you can see. So not only does it let you see way closer. I mean I kind of talked about it last time, but like I guess I could probably get like a telephoto along like a really far zoom lens for my mirrorless camera. But the problem with that is the minimum focus distance is like 3 feet. So I would have to put my camera 3 feet above the desk, which there's no way. Like I'd have to mount it almost at the ceiling for it to focus on the desk. So that's the first problem. But even those really good lenses are like $1,000 or more just for a lens. So for the cost of a lens, I'm about half the cost of a lens. I bought this, but it also is binocular, which so you get you get depth perception where you don't normally when you're just looking at a video. So that's going to be impossible. That is going to be impossible for me to even when I get the camera. It's not going to be possible for me to like, oh, this is what it's like to use this scope. And that's kind of what people were saying. Oh, it's kind of life changing, because it really is. The binocular part is very helpful, because it gives you a little bit better, like you can see details like inside a via. So basically I was looking at I had a motherboard that had a battery that was all corroded, and it corroded like half of the traces on the motherboard. And there were some spots where the traces were like black and it looked like they were gone. I would only be able to see those traces because they're smaller than a millimeter. I would only be able to see those traces with the scope. And so like as far as like cleaning the corrosion. So it's very close up, and it gives you the binocular vision, so you can kind of see details and things better. Just wait until I hope that the camera that I got is at least halfway decent about the detail. It's insane. Like that's too much magnification for doing mods, but I hope it'll help me. I have a PS2 Retro Gem mod I'm hoping it'll help me with like flex cable mod installs. See if it's making good connections, seeing if there's any pins that are not connected well, seeing if any pins are severed. That's the sort of thing that you can actually do. You can actually look and see and verify, outside of having a multimeter or something to test continuity. You can actually visualize, you can see it. So that's really helpful. Okay, so I got that. I think the drivers are installed. Now I'm just going to put the firmware and the other thing into a new folder. Okay, so that's that. Now I need so the USB-C is plugged in. The power is plugged in, but it's not on yet. So let's go ahead and hold reset and power on the console. Shit. Well, it didn't dedupe. I don't know if it was supposed to. Okay, the audio is on. Let's try it again. So I got that. Got that. All right, holding reset. So it's not deduping on Windows 10. So, all right, let's just try to run the firmware updater. Nope, it's doing the same thing. Let me restart the computer. Maybe the driver has to be, needs a restart. Oh gosh, I have updates on this computer. Okay, so I'm just gonna restart the computer quick. Do scope vision, yeah. I kind of, well, I both knew that I needed one, and also I wasn't sure what to expect. And it's like, so I was watching this guy was reviewing that same scope, and this guy this is like a pocket watch YouTube channel. Like I was Googling reviews of the scope, and this guy's YouTube channel is rebuilding watches, like what do they call them? There's a fancy word for the watch gears and stuff. I don't know what they call that. Movement, I think it's called movement. But like, he was using the scope to see all the little tiny gears, and I'm like tiny little things that you would only be able to manipulate and like put a watch back together only if you had something like this. So it is very, yeah, it's neat. Really good detail. Just through the optics. I mean, I hope that the camera can convey it, but Rolex, I don't know. I'm not sure. Now, I've heard that Rolexes are not good quality watches. They're just the brand, like a good brand, like, yeah, brand name. Oh, I see. You were trying to guess the... Maybe it's the cable? Maybe. Well, I have... I mean, this is an Anchor cable. I mean, usually the Anchor makes pretty good stuff. Let me try one more time with this cable, and then I can get another USB-C cable because I have a bunch. Okay, so hold down the reset. I'm just verifying everything is the power button is ripped off, so I can't really tell if. I mean, I know it's powering, but yeah. All right, hold reset. Oh, ding, ding, ding. Nice. All right, going to the firmware update folder. Let's set it to compatibility. Windows 7, compatibility. Apply. And then start it. Nope. Maybe as administrator. No, it gave me that same exclamation and did the program work correctly. Troubleshooter didn't do anything. Okay, sure. All right, it switched to compatibility Windows 8. I don't know. No, it didn't do anything. Okay, well, I don't have any Windows 7 computers currently. Do I have to build a computer to... I have to install Windows 7 on a computer to run this? Well, to the Apple watches. Hey, the watch what you're saying, because I'm an iPhone guy, iPhone fanboy. Well, it didn't work. I guess I'll give it one more try. I'll try a different cable. Oh, this is turn this off. Antivirus. I don't usually run antivirus on any of my computers. I hope I didn't. Don't hack me. Not you, Stanislav, but just people in general. Let me try a different cable first. I mean, it did that thing, but although I don't know why that would keep it from launching that program, but I mean, I guess I can try that. I'll try opening the program without the thing plugged in. Nope, it didn't do anything. Cumulative updates, no. All right, I'll try a different cable, but I'm not so sure it's gonna happen because the program itself doesn't open. But just for ha-has. Ooh, a Nintendo cable. Oh, wait, this is not it. This is a Fintendo cable. Okay, well. YOLO. Oh, it's shorter than 6 feet. Okay. Doop. Oh, that worked. Now we gotta open the updater. Nope, nothing. Ay. Okay, well. Am I the first person to try this firmware updater thing? Besides Stanislav? Well, I don't know. Can't get the updater to work, and so I need to update the firmware. Turn it back off. No, I don't know. I was just joking, Aldosaurus. I could try it. I don't have a computer that has Windows 7 on it anymore, but I think maybe I don't know. Stanislav. He's either gonna have to work on compatibility with Windows 10 probably or 11. I don't know how hard that is to do. Windows 7 VM. Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't even think about that. It's too. I don't have enough time now to install Windows 7 VM, but in between now and next time, next stream, I'll try to get it working. Yeah, I'll the source. I was joking about that. I hope that Stanislav can work on a compatibility issue. I might actually have the perfect mini ITX build to sell you if you're interested. It comes with a Pelican case, custom Pelican case. I don't know. I'm looking for cheap budget. Is that a data cable and not just a power cable? It's both, I think. The Anker ones are usually both. These are really good quality cables for the like $12 a piece that you spend for on Amazon. They better be. Well, okay. That's really all as far as we can get now until we update the firmware. So I'll try to if Stanislav doesn't get back to me or anything, I'll try the VM thing. I know that's kind of unfortunate. Actually, is there? I want to see something for science. Oops. Oh, no, never mind. Okay. Yeah. I don't know how, I guess I'm going to I don't know how I'm going to get a Windows 7 disk. I used to be, when I went to, yeah, no, I didn't mess it up. I didn't make it worse. That's good. When I used to go to college, I had a Microsoft Software Developer Network license, MSDN license, so I can get, any versions of Windows, whatever, and the ISOs, as long as you're using it for personal use. But I don't have that anymore, so like trying to get old ISOs and stuff is sketchy. Yeah. When does Windows 7 become vintage and useless? Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check out an app or a VM. That's a good idea. Well, I could use a trial, yeah, I guess. A mini ITX board. I developed and tested on Windows 7. I'll try to figure out what the reason is in the near future. What did you use to develop it, Stanislav? Because I'm a software developer. If you need help porting something to Windows 11, I mean, I don't know everything, but I'm assuming you use some kind of a programming library or something. It shouldn't be crazy to implement, but just let me know. I can always try to help. I've never done anything like that. It'd be cool to make a firmware program. I have Windows 7 for Groove MAME. Never heard of that. Groove MAME. Yeah. Okay. So I'll use Visual Studio. Yeah. Okay. I'm a .NET developer. So let me know if you have the source code for your app. If you send me the source code, I can always try to get it working on my machine on Windows 10 or 11. So it's up to you. I don't know if that's in the. Do you have a GitHub repo or something for the firmware? Just for the firmware tool, your MSHD firmware updater, just the source code part. Because then I can see what libraries and stuff that you use, and I can just port it. I should be able to port it. Have I ever used Ventoy to install? No, I never heard of that. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Belma. I appreciate that you come to everybody's streams and my streams and stuff. And I also appreciate what you said about the do what I want and not listen to other people. Or not let people talk me out of stuff. So speaking of which, so what's next? I really would this year. So okay, last year, 2023. My goal for 2023, and I pretty much toward the end of it, I dropped everything else. So I stopped doing Retro Money News weekly. My goal was to finish that. The Ashita, the Ashita build, and those 3 videos kind of were super brutal. Like I just that kind of burnt me out. So that's why I kind of stopped making. One of the reasons I stopped making videos was because of that, a Sheeta video. So, but that was like a big goal video for me last year, was to make that thing and make it work. So I accomplished that last year. This year, it might have to be that Micro 8088. And I know that's a long, complicated thing, and I know that it is a vintage computer thing, but I'm hoping that it's approachable enough. If somebody really wanted to build their own, they could follow along with me. And there's a lot of parts. Like first you start with building the Micro 8088 PC board itself, like the ISA card part and the back plane, and then test that. And I have some of the compatible, like a video card and a sound card, so I can test it like along the way. Then you build your own sound card, and then you build the compact CF or XT to IDE CF card thing. And then there's a 3D printed case that it all fits in. So I know that seems a lot. Maybe it's boring for some people, but I think it's kind of cool. It's a lot of PCBs. Nobody sells kits as far as I know either, which is kind of a bummer. I feel like something like Tech Select should do that, but I feel like they kind of lean away from kits because they don't. I don't know. People are probably more likely to buy it if it's like a pre-built thing. So do what you enjoy or drive yourself crazy. Yeah, you're right. Here's the thing about the streams: if you're having fun and feel good about what you're doing, then I have fun watching. Yeah, I mean, it's not that I don't have fun with retro modding stuff. When I started the channel, I really wanted to have like, maybe this is it's still in the back of my mind. I do want to tackle like launching a channel again. It may not be, specific to what it was before, like retro modding or whatever, but like I just don't have the time right now. And I know that's kind of like everybody says that, like, oh, everybody, anybody can start a YouTube channel, just got to do it type thing. But, to be honest, it was kind of like seeing the success of like Macho Nacho and other people. It wasn't for me. It's not that I was jealous. Don't get me wrong, I'm super jealous. Like, I would love to be in, I don't know. I don't know if I can say I would love to be in Tito's standpoint. It sounds like he spends most of his free time working on the videos, which is fine. But I mean, at that point, he has to consider it as a job replacement. Like, he has to be doing it in order for it to become a job replacement, or otherwise, I don't understand how he's doing it. He's putting so much effort for so many years. He did it for as long as I've been doing videos. He's been doing videos. So, but I guess I might be late. I probably am lazier than him, right? So I don't have the work ethic, but also I don't think it's for me, right? Like, I'm okay being a personality, but I don't necessarily know if that's not the type of person I am to do one thing over and over again for all time. Like, I switch the things that I'm interested in constantly. And the thing that I realize that I might be the right person for is sort of like describing projects, or like hyping up projects and describing them so that people can get involved. So like, so there's a lot of projects that are complicated, right? Developers, whatever, they put the stuff out there, and then that might be where it ends, right? Like, it might never get produced, right? But being able to explain like how this is important, like, does that make any sense? Like, that is what I like. Finding out about a thing, maybe not into super fine-grained detail. Like, I'm not super technical. I would like to get more technical. That's why I push myself to do things like that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point, but it's not necessarily for me making YouTube videos like that. I like doing it, I suppose, but it's like, okay, I think Adrian mentioned that, like, he doesn't like the video part, working on the video part, but he enjoys what he does, if that makes if that makes sense. So that's kind of how I feel about it. I don't know. I just feel like continuing to learn new things is a good way to live your life. Oh yeah, like that's probably my biggest personality flaw is also, like, not to be cringe, like it's my my best asset, like my biggest asset, but I am constantly ADHD brain about whatever. So like I'm just hyper focused on, well, I guess I get, so like I hear about something like, oh, vintage computers. I try to get as fast as I can from knowing nothing about it to understanding it, like baby step understanding it, right? So like, okay, I have a vague understanding of computers, right? Let me order one and let me see what it's about. And then you order it and it's, oh, it doesn't work, or there's other things that I didn't consider in the beginning. I didn't know about it. Like, oh, I need this, I need that to get it to actually work. Then I learn all about that stuff, and then I get them to work together. And then now I have all this knowledge. Like, okay, I know how to, like, okay, for the example of 286 computer, there were so many headaches trying to get that thing to work, and it finally is working now with the graphics card. I kind of want to do a recap, or like a stream to kind of go over that computer if people care about it. But like now I can say, okay, here's all the things that I learned and understand about it for this thing. And now it's like, oh, what's next? What's the next thing? 386? Or, you know, now it's the MegaSwitch HD. So that's kind of how, it's just an infinite loop. I didn't even mention to anybody that I took apart that CRT. I built that, I guess I wanted my first, what is it called? When you not decap it, but discharge. I discharged my first CRT not on a stream, right? And it didn't make any noise. It was fine. It was painless. But I didn't tell anyone that I took that whole. I think actually I showed up in Steve's Retrotex video. And I said I was doing that, but I took it apart. I cleaned the boards. I didn't recap anything because I wasn't sure if it was a capacitor issue. But I just wanted to clean it, everything, the boards, you know, just wipe them off or vacuum them really good. And then I put it all back together and I turned it back on, and it was the same error was happening. So it wasn't like it was overheating or whatever. So I don't think just replacing the capacitors is probably not going to fix it. So I just kind of like put it aside. But now I'm comfortable at least getting in there and de-energizing it. So now I have another smaller CRT that's having problems, and I ordered some... like it looks like the horizontal sync is so I see a picture, but it's like it's not lined up and down, so it's going like flying by this way. I think that's the horizontal sync. Maybe it's the vertical sync. I don't know. But I ordered some ceramic screwdrivers so that I can actually adjust the pots on this CRT. So I have another CRT that I want to take apart and fix that. So all these things that, you know, I was sort of limited by, before I was limited by, my scope was just retro gaming stuff, which is still a big thing, and I'm really fortunate, or everyone should be fortunate, that we live like we're in it now. If you're interested in it, this is a really cool time with the RetroTape 4K, with all the mods that are out there. Even if you know, I don't know, I ignoring all the drama stuff, like that's stuff that I could do without, and I want to minimize that stuff, even though I know people are getting hurt, you know, people might get hurt. I think we're better off just focusing on the thing and making everything better for the retro people, or for retro, yeah, hobbyists. Like that's my focus. I don't want to have anything to do with the drama. I got a good deal on an MSX2 locally, which is a big jump. MSX2, is that a computer? I know there's a lot of Japanese computers. The X6800 or whatever it is. Oh, that's cool. It's like this thing. This is an MSX1. Yeah, that's neat. So it's sort of like a Commodore sort of set-top thing. Speaking of which, like I would love a Commodore 64. I would love an Amiga. I know that I don't think anybody's gonna like hand me an Amiga because they're so expensive, but I would love to experiment with those computers. So I don't have the balls to do it, but my PVM has a bleeder resistor for the anode cap. Belmont, I would say that you should try it. Especially for a PVMs, because PVMs are probably more well documented than what the hell I was doing. The CRT that I was working on is from 96. So if it's around the same generation, it's probably going to be similar. Well, the bleeder cap. I know that I think Steve said that what happens if the bleeder resistor's not working or whatever. But like, I think that if you are following the protocol, right, you've got your discharge tool. I bought a heavy gauge crimped wire tester thing, and I cut that in half. So it already had silicone wire. It was already insulated, that part. Then I stripped like 4 or 5 inches, and I just taped it, electrical taped it to the screwdriver. And you kind of want to like electrical tape as much of it as possible so that it's insulated. But I really don't think that that's going to save you. But it shouldn't, you shouldn't get uber shocked. Then you just got to find something that's got ground. I put it on a ground screw on one of the corners. And then, one hand in the pocket, sort of like face your body away from it. And then the thing you have to know is that the clips for the anode cap, they look like, ooh, I have this, this is a keycap puller, but they kind of look like this, where they sort of stick, I mean, they're not this long, but they stick out like this. So like it's like a tong, sort of like tongs. So the thing I didn't realize is that you have to kind of like, in order to get them out, because they're stuck in there like a butthole. Like if this is the cap, so you kind of have to like with the screwdriver, you have to do like this in order to push it in. You know what I'm saying, to make it skinnier. So you kind of, in order for it to come out, you have to push it in sideways. So that's the scariest part. Is not really the discharging part. Well, I'm sure there are scary discharges for sure, but it's just it was difficult. I didn't understand how the anode cap part came out. So I hope that makes sense. MacGyver. So I don't actually know. I think that it's such a high voltage that you wouldn't be protected even if you had rubber gloves on. As long as you don't. That's why you put your hand in your pocket. So if something does discharge, it doesn't discharge through your body. It just hopefully discharges through the ground of the system. So yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, so you have the same, yeah. So, yeah, I would try it, especially with a PVM because it's well known, right? There's a lot of schematics and things, and you can just follow Steve's steps and then feel good about yourself when you do it. Like I felt so good when I got the anode cap off. I was like, yeah, this is great. And I could rip this all apart. I mean, it's still scary because it's just boards all over the place and cables, but the cables kind of only can go back in one spot. It's not like you're modifying any of the cables and stuff on the inside. So I would be cautious and follow the protocol. But I if I could do it, then I think that you could do it. Yeah. I didn't buy any special discharge tool. I just used I have way back when I bought these Klein, a 6-pack of Klein screwdrivers. So it was like 3 flathead and 3 Phillips, and the largest flathead is what I use. So it's still, the tape is still on it, but you don't have to solder anything. You just get a screwdriver and get that alligator clip thing. Yeah. Windows 7 installed, but now it's installing .NET 4. Okay, all right. I'm signing off. I don't know what is up next. Obviously, I'd like to actually do a stream demonstrating the MegaSwitch HD, because that's pretty sweet. But I know that people have been asking about the Wii. I have the AVE Wii mod. I would like to sprinkle some more computer stuff in here, but I have some offline stuff to do about that because I have some disks. What I'd like to figure out is how to make backups of floppy disks and like archival ones to upload to archive.org, because I have the Software of the Month Club 5 1/4-inch floppy disks, and they're not on archive.org. So I feel like it's my responsibility to update. And there's like 18 disks, and you need most of it. Like to install games, you would like swap out disks to put to whatever to install the files, whatever. And so without all the disks, you can't really do it. But the problem with my Wii mod, or doing the Wii mod, is I have a Wii, my childhood console. So it's a 6-layer board, but it's completely disassembled right now. So I have well, actually no, I used some of the screws to build the Ashita. But I bought a clear shell, a replacement shell, so I want to put it in a clear shell, and that comes with some screws. So hopefully it comes with the right screws. But I'm scared. I guess I'm scared because I want to be able, I don't remember how it goes back together. So I might have to watch that Voltar stream where he reassembled the Wii. Adrian did a video making them. I don't know. What are you talking about, Bartleby? But then there's also... Oh, yeah, there's the Grease Weasel. Is a USB adapter. So you plug it into a modern computer, but it plugs into a 5 1/4 drive. So, yeah, that I might have to... maybe I'll have to build that. So there's a lot of PCB-way projects for me to build this year, which is great. Like it saves me some money, which equates to me being able to do more things, and because out of pocket I would not be able to afford all these builds, and I would like to do some boards pre-built, like using PCB-Way's their board assembly thing. So I've been kind of lazy and haven't figured out how to do it yet. How to give them the appropriate BOM that they'll understand and get the thing. So Grease Weasel, yeah. Yep. Doesn't look that complicated. So if you have a USB floppy drive, do they make? So that's a possibility too. I could always just try to get a. See, I don't know that much about the different formats either. I know they're all IBM ones, but I don't know if they're 360K versus 1.2 meg or whatever. Flippy drive. Am I gonna get flippy drive? I would like to get a flippy drive. I didn't buy one yet. I probably should have. I think once upon a time they mentioned about them. They could send me one. I'll try to reach out to them because I would like to look into it. But I would probably want to get another GameCube because right now I've got I have the bottom one here is a GC Dual and the GC loader. The top one here is just the what is it called? Pico loader. So I might replace the Pico loader with the Flippy Boot. But I'm very interested in that project because it's not just the hardware, it's also the like BIOS or like that boot screen. So like it boots into the BIOS screen that whatever you can select. Look at the memory cards or boot into the game, whatever. That's the GameCube BIOS or whatever. So it's not Swiss, or it may use Swiss on the back end, but it's not the Swiss UI Flippy Boot, the Flippy drive, whatever it's called. So that's what I'm most interested about. It's like the clean interface. So Pico Boot, yeah, yep. So Flippy drive isn't for sale. I thought there was a pre-order, wasn't there? Or maybe it's coming soon. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a pre-order notification. I mean, it's only $38. I mean, I guess I should buy one, but yeah, I can't say I guess I should buy one for everything. Although I I tended to do that anyways. But so that was my problem in the very beginning when I was starting, is like I tried to buy every mod and do a video about every single mod that I could. But that was just way too much. I couldn't do it. That's why I fell back to the weekly videos, the mod news videos. So, okay, yeah. So I would definitely like to do it, but I'll have to reach out to them, see if they might send me one to review, whatever. I've also got the Pico, the EEPROM dumper, so you can dump your Xbox firmware. I think that's pretty important. I mean, I don't necessarily care about it that much, but I feel like it answers the question of like, okay, how if you wanted to legitimately get a BIOS, 1.6 BIOS, how do you do that? And I don't, before this, the Pico, can't remember what it's called. I'm sorry. It's D Tomcat is the person who sent me one. But before that project, like how did people get their BIOSes, Xbox original BIOSes? I mean, I know that most people didn't, but how did the original people get it? Yeah. Okay. All right. I went way late tonight, but that's fine. I like talking to you guys, and I'm glad that you guys are engaged. If you, yeah, I guess all I ask you is if you see cool projects, whatever, just hit me up on Twitter. Let me know about them, because that's really what it's all about in the end, is finding cool stuff. That's what the retro modding news videos were. It was always trying to, like, I'm always on Twitter, so I was just constantly looking for new projects, new things to do that people, especially when people don't know about them. That's why I'm like, yes, but then I fail to like really drum up excitement, and then I'm like, well, that sucks. So I'm not so good at that part. So, all right. It's not even working in Windows 7. Okay, well that's fine. I'll reach out to. I'll see if I can find ask Stanislav about the source code. I don't think it's on. Does he have a GitHub? Hold on. I don't know. Well, I don't think he has GitHub, and he probably wouldn't have the firmware files, the source code for that. So, all right. Goodbye, everybody. See you.